1970 when I first became head football coach. Bob Dunning had gone to UC Davis and he'd played on the tennis team and had gone to law school, but he found out he wanted to be a journalist. And so he became a sports writer with the Davis Enterprise. So we covered a lot of our games, and he was absolutely marvelous to work with.
And he came over and started to write, and we started to have success, so he kind of hooked onto the bandwagon. And I was the athletic director, and what I found out about him most was his tenaciousness of following a story. And he really reflected Davis, the thought of Davis, because he's a Davis graduate, and he understood Davis.
I first met Bob when I got to Davis in 1979, and he was our veteran sports editor at the time. And I looked up to him so much because he knew everybody in town and he knew all the history of the news. And when I needed some perspective, some advice, he was the guy I would always go to.
We go back a ways. We go back to the early 70s. I actually met him first in law school. True story, he was kind of an unknown quantity in law school. He had a reputation for never going to class. But he showed up for the exams, he passed all the exams, and he graduated. He was kind of a legend in those days.
We consider him kind of the heart and soul, not only the paper, but of Davis community itself. I kind of look at him, because he did come out of King Law School, as the Supreme Court Justice, maybe the Chief Justice.
He probably would have been a great lawyer in the courtroom, and maybe missed his calling there, but he certainly found it in journalism, because undoubtedly he's one of the best columnists, not only in the region, but nationally.
He always asked the right questions, and he dealt deep, and he wanted to know the story behind the story so he could make a good story. And so he graduated from a sports writer, and I think that I was part of responsible for that, because he's always digging to find that. And so he's transferred that personality all into being a columnist.
We get a lot of feedback from our readers when they renew their subscriptions, or when they call the office, or when they send letters to the editor. And Bob has very passionate, ardent fans, and he also has very passionate, ardent critics. And that's exactly what a daily columnist should be.
I think he probably wrote more columns about me than any other person on the planet. He became very well known. Writing a daily column is an incredible task. Really is. Imagine that, writing a daily column about a small town like Davis. So I gave him lots of grist for his mill.
He's just fun. When he gets on his funny side, there's nobody that can rub your nose into the dirt with a sense of humor that everyone gets, including the person who's getting his nose in the dirt. So I really appreciate the levity that he keeps in his columns.
He's been such a good writer, such a big part of the Davis Enterprise, and such a big part of the town of Davis, and really the whole region. Extraordinarily gifted. We've been very fortunate to have him here all this time.
Bob Dunning's in love with Davis. That's flat out. Second to his wife, wonderful wife, Shelley. But yes, he's in love with Davis. This is what matters. This is what makes him get up in the morning, makes him get these fabulous columns out. It makes sense day in and day out. No one else would have done it. He would have been hired away years ago, except that he wanted to make sure Davis was on track and stayed on track to be the wonderful community it is today.
Bob really is a person who's made a great impact on this community. I know people that when they pick up the Davis Enterprise, that's the first thing they look at. Some people look at the funnies first, other people look at Bob Dunning first. So he is the conscience of this community. For better or for worse, he tells it like it is. Some people don't like that, but I think he always tries to tell the truth.
So Bob, you're out in the audience. I'd like to say congratulations on this fine honor. Very deserving. And thank you so much for being such a credit to the town of Davis, the whole region, to UC Davis, to Davis High School. You've given so much to all of us, and we're very appreciative. Thank you so much.
Bob, congratulations for being a Hall of Famer. I am honored to be your friend, your colleague, and I look forward to working with you for many, many more years. You're just terrific. Congratulations.
Bob, from the family, McNaughton family, I would like to thank you. Seriously, if the cup breaks me up, for the years of hard service. I know my grandfather put in 55 years writing a column. I expect you to break that streak. We hope you go and stay with us forever. I love you, man. Best of luck.
Congratulations to Bob. You represent Davis at his finest. You're smart, you're sensitive, and he understands the community and the town. And he's a good representative from Davis High School. He should be in the Hall of Fame.